Every day, every single day you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror, and you are looking at the one person who holds the key to your future. Nobody else. Not your boss, not your teacher, not your friends, not even your family, it's you. Now, here's the truth. Change doesn't happen in one giant leap. Change doesn't come knocking with fireworks. Change comes in the quiet decisions, the choices you make when nobody's watching. And if you decide to do something today, just today, you can shift the entire course of your life. Every day you wake up is an opportunity. Every day you open your eyes, that's God giving you another chance to change your life. The question is, what will you do with it? You know, a lot of people out there, they're waiting on motivation. They're waiting on that spark, that burst of energy, that moment where they feel unstoppable. And don't get me wrong, motivation is great. It feels good. It gets you moving. But here's the truth. Motivation is like a visitor. It shows up when it wants to, and it doesn't stay long. You can't build a life on motivation. You can't build a career, a dream, a legacy waiting for motivation to knock on your door. But discipline is different. Discipline is the foundation. Discipline is the bridge between where you are right now and where you want to go. Motivation is the firework. It flashes, it makes noise, it looks pretty for a moment. Discipline is the candle. It burns steady, it burns long, and it will light your way through the darkest nights. I've learned something in life. Every single person who's ever achieved anything great, they didn't do it because they felt motivated every day. They did it because they were disciplined enough to keep going when they weren't motivated at all. When the alarm clock went off at 500 in the morning, discipline got them out of bed. When their body was sore, discipline got them back in the gym. When they faced rejection, when the world told them no, discipline made them say, "I'll try again tomorrow." See, discipline doesn't care how you feel. And that's what makes it so powerful, because feelings change, feelings go up and down. But discipline is a choice. It's a muscle. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two people. The first one is highly motivated. He wakes up excited. He's got big dreams. He's got energy. But a week later, his motivation drops. He gets tired. He says, "I'll start again Monday." Then Monday becomes next month. Then next month becomes next year. And before you know it, he's still in the same place, talking about what he's going to do. Now imagine the second person. They're not always motivated. In fact, some days they don't feel like doing anything at all, but they've made a decision. They're disciplined. They say, "No matter how I feel, I'm going to do the work." Day after day, brick by brick, step by step. And a year later, that person has built something. Not because they were motivated, but because they were disciplined. Discipline is the silent force behind every success story you've ever heard. Athletes, actors, entrepreneurs, leaders, they didn't get there by accident. They had routines, habits, structures. They showed up when they didn't feel like it. They practiced when nobody was watching. They rehearsed when nobody was clapping. That's what discipline does. It builds consistency, and consistency builds excellence. Now, let me tell you something personal. In my own career, there were days I didn't feel like showing up. Days where the rejection hit hard. Days when the dream seemed far away. Motivation couldn't carry me through those days, but discipline did. Discipline said, "Show up, do the work, stay ready so you don't have to get ready." And over time, those disciplined days added up to opportunities. Opportunities added up to breakthroughs, and breakthroughs added up to the blessings you see today. Let me give you an image to carry with you. Think of discipline like planting seeds. Every day, you put a seed in the ground. It doesn't look like much at first, just dirt and water. You don't see results overnight. But if you're disciplined enough to water that seed every day, to protect it, to keep nurturing it, even when you don't feel like it, one day you wake up and there's a tree. And that tree gives shade, it gives fruit, it gives life. Motivation won't get you that tree. Only discipline will. Some of you are waiting for the feeling to hit you before you act. But the truth is, action comes first. Feelings follow action. You don't wait to feel inspired to go to the gym. You go to the gym, and then you feel inspired. You don't wait to feel creative before you write. You start writing, and creativity shows up along the way. Discipline creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. Here's the challenge: ask yourself, what are the areas in your life where you've been waiting for motivation instead of building discipline? Is it your health, your career, your relationships, your finances? Whatever it is, stop waiting for the feeling. Start building the discipline. Wake up earlier than you want to. Do the work longer than you feel like. Push yourself further than your excuses. Because let me tell you something, excuses are always available, but so is excellence. And the choice between the two comes down to discipline. People often say, but I don't have time. No, you have time, you just don't have discipline. You make time for what matters to you. If Netflix, social media, and distractions can get hours of your life, don't tell me you don't have time. What you lack is discipline. And if you can redirect that same energy, that same focus into building habits that serve your future, you'll change your life. And here's the beauty of discipline. It doesn't just build results. It builds character. It builds resilience. It builds a toughness in you that no setback can destroy. Because once you've trained yourself to be disciplined, failure doesn't break you. It trains you. Rejection doesn't stop you. It sharpens you. Discipline turns every no into fuel for your next yes. So let me leave you with this: stop chasing motivation. Start cultivating discipline. Wake up tomorrow and say, I don't care how I feel. I'm going to take one step. Do it the next day and the next. Before you know it, those steps will become strides. Those strides will become miles. And those miles will lead you straight into the life you were destined to live. Motivation will get you started. Discipline will get you finished. You know what holds most people back? It's not that they don't have dreams. Everybody's got dreams. Everybody's got a picture of where they want to be. The problem is they want it all at once. They want the mansion without building the foundation. They want the body without breaking a sweat. They want success overnight, but life doesn't work like Amazon Prime. It doesn't deliver in 2 days. Life is built brick by brick, moment by moment, choice by choice. And the truth is this: small wins build big victories. I'll tell you why this matters. See, when you think about changing your life, it feels overwhelming. You look at the mountain in front of you and it looks impossible to climb. You say, I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to start a business. I want to pay off this debt. I want to rebuild my family. And the weight of that vision makes you freeze. You start doubting yourself before you even take the first step. But here's the secret. Don't try to climb the whole mountain at once. Just focus on the next step. Focus on one small win. Because small wins have a way of multiplying. They build momentum. They create confidence. They prove to you that change is possible. Think about it. You don't run a marathon by waking up one day and saying, I'll run 26 miles. No. You start by running around the block. You celebrate finishing that block. Next week, it's a mile. Next month, it's 3. Over time, those little wins stack up, and one day you look back and realize you're running marathons. That's how transformation happens. Not in giant leaps, but in consistent steps. Let me give you a real-life picture. Imagine a man who decides he's tired of being broke. He wants financial freedom. Now, if he looks at the total debt he owes, it might crush him. It might make him quit before he begins. But what if he said today, I'll save $5. Tomorrow, I'll save another $5. $5 doesn't look like much. But when you repeat it day after day, week after week, suddenly you've built a habit. That habit leads to discipline. That discipline leads to bigger financial choices. And over years, he's debt-free, not because of one giant miracle, but because of daily small wins. Now let's apply it to health. You want to change your body. Instead of trying to go on a crash diet and lose 20 pounds in a month, start small. Cut out 1 soda a day, take a 15-minute walk. Drink 1 extra glass of water. It sounds tiny, but here's the truth: small wins are sustainable. They don't shock your system, they rewire it. They become a lifestyle, not a quick fix. And here's another truth: small wins build confidence. Some of you don't need a giant victory right now. You just need proof that you can win at all. You need evidence that you can start and finish something. That's why small wins matter so much. When you keep promises to yourself, little promises, you start to trust yourself again. You start to believe, I can do this. And that belief is the fuel for bigger victories. See, the enemy of progress is perfectionism. We wait until everything's perfect to start. We say, I'll go to the gym when I can do a full workout. I'll start the business when I have all the money. I'll write the book when I have all the free time. That's perfectionism. But progress doesn't demand perfection. Progress demands movement, small, consistent movement. Every great empire, every championship, every legendary performance, it was built on the foundation of small, unseen wins. You think champions only work on game day? No. They win in practice. They win in the gym. They win in the mornings nobody sees, the nights nobody claps for. And when the spotlight finally hits them, all those hidden small wins show up as a big victory. Let me tell you something from my own journey. Acting my field, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't just wake up one day and win an Oscar. It's audition after audition, script after script, failure after failure. Every yes I ever got was built on 100 no's I had to endure. But every time I showed up, every time I gave my best, even in the small roles, even in the parts nobody remembers, that was a small win. And those wins stacked up. They prepared me for the bigger moments. So let me challenge you today. Stop underestimating the power of small wins. Stop telling yourself it's not enough, because it is enough. It's not about how big the step is. It's about taking the step at all. Progress is progress. Maybe today your win is getting out of bed and making it. Maybe it's choosing a book over your phone. Maybe it's writing one paragraph of your dream book. Maybe it's calling one person you've been avoiding. It doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be done. Because when you add today's win to tomorrow's win and the next day's win, you start creating a chain of victories. And that chain changes your life. Here's something powerful. The human brain loves momentum. When you achieve a small win, your brain releases dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical. That rush makes you want to keep going. So one push up turns into 5. One page turns into 10. One kind word turns into a restored relationship. That's how momentum works. It multiplies. So if you want to change your life, don't just aim for the finish line. Focus on today's step. Celebrate today's win. Write it down. Acknowledge it. Say, I did that. Because when you stack up enough small wins, the big victory will take care of itself. And let me say this, don't despise the days of small beginnings. Don't laugh at your little steps. Every oak tree was once a seed. Every skyscraper was once a brick. Every marathon was once a single step. Don't quit because it looks small. Stay consistent, and one day, people will look at your life and say, how did they do it? And you'll know the truth. It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was small wins every day stacked into greatness. So let me leave you with this. Don't chase the giant leap. Chase the next step. Don't wait for the big break. Create small wins daily, because small wins, they're not just steps. They're proof. Proof that you're moving, proof that you're growing, proof that your future is being built right now. And when you look back years from today, you'll realize the small wins weren't small at all. They were the foundation of your biggest victory. Let me tell you something I've learned in life. Who you walk with determines where you arrive. You can have all the talent in the world, all the dreams, all the plans. But if the people around you don't match that energy, don't share that vision, don't push you to grow, you're going to stay stuck. See, life is not just about what you're doing. It's about who you're doing it with. Because environment matters. Your circle matters. If you want to change your life, you've got to look at the company you keep. You've got to surround yourself with growth. Think about this. A seed can only grow if it's planted in the right soil. You could have the strongest seed in the world, but if you put it in dry, toxic soil, it won't grow. Not because the seed is weak, but because the environment isn't right. Some of you are blaming yourself for not growing, when the truth is, you're planted in the wrong soil. You're around people who drain you, discourage you, distract you, and then you wonder why you're stuck. If you want to grow, you've got to change the soil, change the environment. Surround yourself with people who water your dreams, not poison them. People who see your potential, not just your past. People who hold you accountable, not hold you back. Now let me paint you a picture. Imagine a person who decides they want to get in shape. They buy the gym membership. They get the sneakers. They've got the plan. But their best friends, they don't care about health. They're always eating junk, skipping workouts, sitting on the couch. Now, what do you think is going to happen? 9 times out of 10, that person is going to fall back into the same habits. Why? Because we rise or we sink to the level of our circle. Now flip it. Imagine that same person surrounded by friends who get up early to run, who cook healthy meals, who talk about discipline like it's normal. Suddenly, being healthy isn't this impossible dream. It's just the culture. It's the environment. And without even realizing it, that person starts to grow. That's the power of environment. You can't be a giant if you hang around with people who think small. You can't dream big if your circle laughs at dreams. And you can't grow if the people around you are comfortable staying the same. I'll give you something real from my journey. When I started out in acting, I wasn't the only one with talent. Plenty of people had skill, plenty of people had drive, but the difference maker wasn't just what I had, it was who I was around. I had mentors who sharpened me, friends who challenged me, people who didn't let me settle for average. When I thought I gave my best, they pushed me to give more. When I faced rejection, they reminded me to keep going. That environment, that's what kept me growing. That's what carried me forward. Now here's the flip side. There were also people who doubted. People who said, "Man, why don't you get a regular job? Why are you chasing something so uncertain?" If I had surrounded myself with only those voices, I might not be standing here today. That's how serious this is. Your circle can either confirm your greatness or cancel it. Let me break it down even further. There are 3 kinds of people in your life. 1, adders. These are the ones who add value. They inspire you, they push you, they pour into you. You feel lighter, sharper, stronger after being with them. 2, subtractors. These are the ones who drain you. Always negative, always doubting, always pulling you away from your goals. 3, multipliers. Now these are rare. These are the people who don't just add, they multiply your vision. They expand your thinking. They make you dream bigger than you ever thought possible. Now here's the truth. You can't always control who comes into your life, but you can control who stays. Some of you need to re-evaluate your circle. You need to set boundaries. You need to decide, if you're not helping me grow, if you're not aligned with my future, then I can't keep giving you my energy. This doesn't mean you cut people off in anger. It means you love them, but you love your destiny more. Because here's what I know, the wrong circle can cost you your calling. Let me ask you, who's speaking into your life right now? Who has your ear? Because voices shape choices, and choices shape destiny. If you keep hearing, you can't. Sooner or later, you'll believe it. But if you hear, you can, you'll start living like it. That's why surrounding yourself with growth isn't optional. It's essential. And here's another truth. Sometimes growth means outgrowing. Outgrowing old habits, outgrowing old environments, outgrowing people who are comfortable where they are. That can be painful because we want to hold on. We want to stay loyal. But hear me, loyalty to the wrong environment will keep you from the right destiny. Surround yourself with mentors who have gone further. Surround yourself with friends who celebrate your wins instead of being jealous of them. Surround yourself with people who are not intimidated by your ambition but inspired by it. That's how you create a growth environment. And here's the beautiful thing. When you surround yourself with growth, you don't just grow, you also become growth for someone else. Your discipline inspires them. Your courage encourages them. Your vision challenges them. Growth is contagious. And when you carry it, the people around you start to catch it too. So let me close this point with a challenge. Take inventory of your circle. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself, are they pushing me forward or pulling me back? Are they feeding my faith or feeding my fears? Are they watering my dreams or drying them out? If the answer isn't growth, then it's time to make changes. Because life is too short and your calling is too big to waste it in the wrong environment. Surround yourself with growth. Surround yourself with vision. Surround yourself with people who remind you who you really are, even on the days you forget. Because at the end of the day, success is not just about what you know or what you do. It's also about who you walk with. And if you walk with growers, you will grow. If you walk with visionaries, you will see further. If you walk with builders, you will build. So ask yourself, who am I walking with? And more importantly, where are they taking me? We live in a world that tells you success is about you. Your money, your status, your achievements, your comfort. And sure, there's nothing wrong with wanting a good life. But if all you're living for is yourself, then your life will always feel small. It'll always feel empty, because true fulfillment doesn't come from what you get. It comes from what you give. Let me tell you, the most powerful thing you can do for your own growth, your own purpose, your own destiny, is to serve something bigger than yourself. Think about it. The people we admire most in history, they weren't just living for themselves. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't march just for himself. Mother Teresa didn't dedicate her life just for herself. Nelson Mandela didn't endure prison just for himself. They all served something greater: justice, compassion, freedom. That's why their names echo through time. And the same is true for you. Your legacy won't be what you keep. It will be what you give. It won't be what you achieve for yourself. It will be how your life touched somebody else. Now let me break it down. Serving something bigger than yourself does three powerful things. 1, it gives your struggle meaning. Life will knock you down. It will test you. And if you're only living for yourself, those struggles will feel unbearable. But when you tie your effort to a mission greater than you, suddenly the struggle makes sense. Think about a mother working 2 jobs. If it was just for her, she might give up. But she's not working for herself. She's working for her children. That purpose gives her strength. That purpose makes the long nights and early mornings worth it. When you live for something bigger, you stop asking, why me? And you start saying, this is bigger than me. And that shift in mindset turns pain into power too. It fuels consistency. Motivation fades, discipline sustains, but purpose ignites. Purpose gives you a reason to keep going when the road gets long. See, if you're only chasing a paycheck, you'll quit when it gets hard. But if you're chasing a mission, if your work is tied to changing lives, uplifting people, building something that matters, you'll endure. You'll show up even when you're tired. You'll give more than you thought you had. Because purpose pulls more out of you than comfort ever could. Purpose is the engine. Service is the fuel. It multiplies your impact. When you serve something bigger than yourself, your life stops being a pond and starts being a river. See, a pond just sits there. It's limited. It gets stagnant. But a river flows. It gives life. It moves forward. When you pour into others, your impact flows beyond you. You inspire people who inspire people. You help someone who goes on to help others. And before you know it, your one act of service creates ripples that reach places you'll never even see. That's legacy. Legacy isn't just what you accomplish. It's what you set in motion. Now let me get real with you. In my own journey, every role I've played, every film, every performance, it's never just been about the awards or the applause, because that fades. What matters is when someone comes up to me and says, that role changed the way I see myself, or that speech gave me hope. That's service. That's purpose. That's bigger than me. Because here's what I know: talent will take you places, but service will keep you there. Achievement might open the door, but purpose will keep it meaningful. Some of you are asking right now, how do I serve something bigger than myself? And I'll tell you, it doesn't have to be complicated. If you're a parent, serve your children with love, discipline, and example. If you're an employee, serve your workplace with integrity, even when no one's watching. If you've been through struggles, serve others by sharing your lessons and your story. If you've been blessed, serve by giving back. Serving doesn't always mean starting a foundation or leading a movement. Sometimes it's as simple as helping your neighbor, mentoring someone younger, lifting up someone who's been knocked down. Service is about asking, how can my life make someone else's life better? But let me warn you, serving something bigger won't always be easy. It will stretch you. It will demand sacrifice. It will require patience. Because true service isn't about recognition. It's about responsibility. You don't do it for applause. You don't do it to be seen. You do it because it's right. And here's the paradox: the more you give, the more you grow. The more you pour into others, the more full your own life becomes. That's why people who serve live with a joy that money can't buy. Because joy comes from contribution, not consumption. So let me ask you, what are you serving? Who are you serving? Because whether you realize it or not, you're serving something. The question is, does it deserve your life? Is it worthy of your energy? Is it bigger than you? Don't waste your life serving only comfort, only ego, only temporary things. Serve something eternal. Serve something meaningful. Serve something that will outlive you. Because here's the truth: when the spotlight fades, when the awards gather dust, when the applause dies down, the only thing that will matter is the lives you touched. Your life will be measured not by how high you climbed, but by how many people you lifted on the way up. Not by how much you gained, but by how much you gave. So here's my challenge to you every day. Ask yourself, how can I serve? How can I make today about more than just me? How can I tie my effort, my discipline, my work, my heart to something bigger? Because when you serve something bigger than yourself, you stop chasing success, and success starts chasing you. You stop searching for meaning, and meaning finds you. You stop living small, and you step into the greatness you were born for. So don't just live for yourself. Live for something greater. Serve something greater. Because in the end, that's not just how you change your life, that's how you change the world. You ever notice how the way you start your day often decides how the rest of it goes? You wake up late, you rush, you forget things, you're stressed, and the whole day feels like it's chasing you. But when you wake up with intention, when you set the tone, when you own your morning, suddenly the whole day feels different. That's not by accident. That's a principle. Because the truth is simple: win the morning, win the day. Now I know some people hear that and they roll their eyes. Come on, Denzel, it's just a morning. What difference does it make? But let me tell you, it makes all the difference. See, the morning is more than just the start of the day. The morning is your foundation. And if the foundation is shaky, everything you build on top of it is shaky too. But if the foundation is strong, the rest of your day, your actions, your decisions, your energy, it all flows from that strength. Think of it like this: if you don't control your morning will control you. If you don't set the tone, the world will set it for you. And trust me, the world doesn't have your best interest in mind. Social media doesn't care about your focus. Notifications don't care about your peace. Distractions don't care about your purpose. That's why you've got to own the morning, the power of the first hour. The first hour of your day is sacred. It's the runway for the rest of the day. Planes don't just take off without a runway, and neither should you. Now let me ask, what's the first thing you do when you wake up? For a lot of people, it's grab the phone, scroll, compare, react. And right there, you've already lost the morning, because you gave your focus to the world before you even gave it to yourself. Winning the morning means saying, before I respond to the world, I'm going to prepare myself for the world. That could mean prayer, meditation, journaling, exercise, reading something inspiring. Whatever it is, it's about filling yourself before the world starts emptying you. Discipline in the morning creates freedom in the day. People think discipline is about restriction, but discipline is actually freedom. Because when you discipline your morning, you free your mind from chaos. You free your time from waste. You free your energy from being scattered. When you wake up early, when you have a plan, when you set routines, you walk into the day already ahead. The world is just waking up, and you've already won your first battle. That builds confidence. That builds momentum. That creates a flow that carries through every challenge that comes your way. Momentum is built in the morning. Let me tell you something. Momentum is everything. Once you get moving, it's easier to stay moving. And once you stall, it's harder to get going again. That's why the morning matters so much. It's not just about productivity, it's about momentum. You do one small win in the morning. Make your bed, drink water, stretch, write your goals. You already created momentum. That momentum makes the next win easier. Before you know it, your whole day is stacked with victories. But if you start the morning sloppy, distracted, reactive, you've already built momentum in the wrong direction. And it takes twice as much effort to turn it around. Your morning reflects your priorities. I can tell what someone values by looking at their mornings. If the first thing you grab is your phone, then your priority is comparison and distraction. If the first thing you do is snooze, your priority is comfort. But if the first thing you do is focus on your body, your mind, your spirit, your priority is growth. See, your mornings reveal what matters most to you. And if you want your life to change, you've got to change your priorities. Don't just say success matters, show it in your morning. Don't just say health matters, show it in your morning. Don't just say faith matters, show it in your morning. The compound effect of morning wins. Winning one morning feels good, but winning your mornings consistently, that changes your life. Think about it. One day of exercise won't transform your body, but 365 mornings of movement, that's transformation. One day of journaling won't give you clarity, but 365 mornings of reflection, that's wisdom. One day of prayer won't bring peace, but 365 mornings of grounding yourself, that's strength. Small disciplines, stacked daily, compound into massive change. And mornings are the perfect place to stack them, because the morning is when your willpower is strongest, your mind is clearest, your energy is freshest. My challenge to you, so here's my challenge. Take back your morning, guard it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Start small. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's putting the phone away for the first hour. Maybe it's writing 3 things you're grateful for. Don't overcomplicate it. Just pick one win and commit. And once that win becomes a habit, add another, then another, until your mornings become a fortress built brick by brick, habit by habit, protecting your purpose and powering your progress. A final story, let me leave you with this picture. There's an old saying, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And mornings, they're the one thing that influences everything. I remember hearing about a Navy admiral who gave a speech and said, if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. People laughed at first, but he was right, because making your bed isn't about the bed. It's about starting the day with discipline, starting with a win, starting with order in a world full of chaos. And that's the secret. Win that first battle, and you're already a victor before you've left the house. So hear me today, if you want to change your life, don't just wait for big opportunities. Don't just wait for the right time. Start with the mornings. Own the first hour, and the rest will follow. Because the truth is this, you don't just stumble into a great life. You build it. And the building blocks are your habits, your choices, your mornings. So stop giving your mornings away. Start winning them. Because when you win the morning, you win the day. And when you win enough days, you win your life.